Hi guys, today I am going to give a book review on a book which I recently read. The title of the book is Competing Against Luck, the story of innovation and customer's choice. Well, this book is written by Clayton M. Christensen, Teddy Hall, Karen Dillon and Davis S. Duncan. Well, before talking about the book, I would like to talk something about the location I choose. Well, books are like exploring the nature. The more you explore, the more you get into it, the more knowledge you gain, the more facts and figure about book you can come to know. Well, now coming back to the book. Well, the author describes that innovation regarding the product or innovating in the research and development of the product cannot obviously lead to the hit or miss of the product in the market. It is very necessary to innovate the product in such a manner that obviously becomes a hit in the future. In the book also the author describes about the theory of job to be done, which reduces the factor of luck when you are innovating the product. Now I will explain the concept of job to be done theory given by the author with the help of the example given in the book. Well, this example says that a milkshake can be compared with some other products in the market. The first thing when it comes to comparison of a milkshake, it would come into your mind like a milkshake can be compared with the other milkshakes in the market or with the other soft drinks in the market or any other beverages. But the competitor of a milkshake can be a burger, can be a sandwich. Let me give you an example. Like a survey is done in the book which states that the milkshake is sold at the time of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. when people are going towards their job and they are driving a car or their vehicle towards their job. Now, when it comes to milkshake, why people are buying the milkshake in the morning only, or why the milkshake is being purchased while people are going towards their job? This is due to the fact that if they buy a burger to eat in the market, they may fall on their dress and spoil their dress, or they can make their car also dirty. That's why people are preferring milkshake over other products. This is due to the fact that they can sip it over when they are going for their job. So here, can easily understand that the competitor of a milkshake is not only the milkshake or other beverages. It can also be a burger or a sandwich. Now coming on to that fact, the companies need to realize the proper places where they need to innovate their product. Well, if they innovate their product only looking at towards the milkshake, like making their product better than other milkshake or making it more tastier, they will lack of innovation. The product may go to the another level, but it will not be able to sustain the market because it's not simplifying the needs of the customer. Whereas when they make a product like in comparison taking into the sandwiches also, the burgers also, they can innovate, they can feel the simplicity of the product, how a product is simplifying a job of a customer. So customers are the main part of innovation. They need to really recognize the key areas where they are innovating. They need to take into the other competitors also into consideration while innovating their product into the market. Now I would like to talk about the mechanism of the theory. Well, the mechanism of the theory can be divided into three parts, wherein the first part is peeling of the job. The peeling of the job basically refers to finding the key areas where the customers need support. Like a customer is going to do a job or he's currently doing a job. How can your product fit into his life and make that job easier? So you need to recognize that key areas, feel that areas, so that you can innovate in that part, those positions, so that your product can satisfy some of the needs of the customer in making his job simplified. Well, the next point is creating the experience. Well, if you'll not create experience and fit a position in the mind of the customer, like why your product is how your product is going to make his life simpler in the future, so the customer will not buy your product and your product will not be a hit in the market. So you need to recognize those key areas and innovate in that field only, so that the customer comes to buy your product. The third part and the most important part is creating a space in the customer's mind. Although you have find a key area where you have to innovate, you have also done research and development and in creating the experience to the customer, but you need to fit a position into the customer's mind, occupy a position into a customer's mind, so that they come to buy a product. They You need to explore the needs of the customers. You need to create a space into the customer's mind so that they come to buy. it can be done with the help of the position, as we have already discussed in marketing, the concept of positioning. So the concept of positioning comes into place while I'm talking about this, because occupying a space into the customer's mind is very necessary. Although you have created experiences, but once the customers in the customer's mind, once they they have a will to buy that product, that this product will, obviously if I buy this product will simplify my work. It will, you know reduce the time of doing the work, and it can be beneficial for the customer to complete their work. This is After doing this all, the innovation in these key areas, the factor of luck will quite possibly decrease, because you are making a product for the customer which they need, which they exactly want in their life, to simplify their job, to do their job efficiently and in with a less time. So with the help of this mechanism and with the help of this tool named the theory of job to be done, can be really beneficial for the upcoming. I would like to talk about the policies which the companies have towards their product. Well, the policies are basically the mistaken beliefs of the company towards their product. The first policy which the author has mentioned is of active data versus passive data. The active data are those data which companies basically take into consideration while innovating their product. It could basically be like sales figures of previous year which they take into consideration and try to predict the sales of the future. But they do not take passive data into consideration, which should be given priority while innovating your product. Passive data, with the help of example I would like to explain, which is given in the book, is of high blood pressure. If you are suffering from high blood pressure and you go to a doctor to get a medicine, after the checkup the doctor would basically give you the medicine which would reduce your BP rates, but he would not to try to find out the core, why the BP is rising, what is the reason the BP is rising. There are various things due to which the BP can rise. So similarly to the business content, you cannot only predict the growth of the product looking at the previous sales figure. The other things, what is the need of the product in the customer's life, why the customer is hiring your product, what is the basic reason behind it. The companies need to focus upon those areas in order to innovate their product. Now the second policy is which is of the confirming data. The confirming data is basically the companies try to innovate their product in the field in the manner which they want to innovate. They feel like if the product will go good in a certain area, they would innovate in that area. But this is a mistaken belief. The companies need to focus upon the areas which customer really want their product to grow. Not only the thing that which company wants their product, in which field the company wants their product to grow. The third policy is of the surface growth. Under this policy, once the product is reached to a level of innovation and the company feels that yes, the job is being done in a simplified manner for the customer, they try to diverse. They lose their attention towards the core of the product, and they try to shift in order to increase their sales in the future. This thing should not be taken into consideration. While if you are innovating a product and the product is doing well in the market, you need to innovate or re-innovate the product and find and try to dig it deeper, and you need to find the more satisfaction, that how the product is making more satisfaction to the customer, and how you can create a better experience or a better position in a customer's mind. So all these policies are the mistaken beliefs through which the company should take into consideration while innovating their product, because it's not always like you're trying to innovate a product, your product will do wonders in the market. But once you are done with the product, or once it has reached a certain sales level, you believe that your product is done, and now you can simplify, now you can move further to increase your sales. But there is never a lack of opportunities in the market. The opportunities never get less. Once you are done with the research or development in your product, you can dig it deeper. You can find some more areas, how to diverse that product in satisfying the requirement of the customer in a more better way. Why they are hiring the product is very necessary for a customer. Once you realize the fact that why the customer is hiring the product in the market, so it makes the life of the company very simpler and finding the key areas where to innovate. But the reason behind the lack of companies to grow, or the lack of companies in declining of sales figure, is basically due to this only, because they are mainly focusing upon research and development of the product, and how to make a product better. They feel if the product is better in the market, it will definitely be a hit in the market, which is the world's biggest mistake that they do while innovating the product. They need to find out, they need to dig it deeper and find what is the need, what is the reason for which the customer is hiring your product. Once you realize the reason behind hiring of the product by the customer, the job is done. First thing that comes into play, the reason for luck factor. The luck factor here gets decreases. If you're innovating the product further, the luck factor is a very big concern for the company. You have to wait and watch whether the product is going to be a hit or a miss. But whereas you are innovating in those fields which you know that if the product is coming into the market, it is simplifying this particular job in the market of the customer. So you know that the customer will obviously buy the product because it's making their life simpler. So in this way you need to innovate in the product and try and this mistaken beliefs of the customers, and they should try to innovate in this field in order to sustain in the market and for a long time growth. It's not basically about sustaining in the market for short time. You might have seen a company highly innovative, high in research and development. It can go up to the peak, to a level where they can reach, but they'll fall once. From that peak, they'll fall. The life cycle of the product will be totally come down, because although going on to 100 is very easy, but sustaining that position is very difficult. So the company need to focus on these key areas in order to sustain their market and prevail in their market for a very long time. Hope you got a brief knowledge about the book. I've tried to cover most of the wide topics or the core topics in the book which describes the theory of job to be done. And this book is really a mind changer for those who are doing business or from the management point of view, because it focuses and increases the level of the thinking. You know, people most probably think that this thing is good for them, but it's beyond that. It increases the area of innovation, and try to give a specific answer to the key areas which the organizations are lacking in order to make the product hit in the market. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for your cooperation. Thank you.